Yes. What's happening? Thought I'd do a quick video. I ain't done a video for a few weeks. I thought I'd bang out a little quick shit video. See what's been going on. What's been happening in the fight world, since the last time I did a video. Yeah, McGregor got fucked up, didn't he, by Dustin Poirier. Yeah, he got fucked up, didn't he, McGregor? Do you know what I mean? He got fucked up. But 6 years ago, McGregor fucked up Poirier. So you know what I mean? What's changed? What's happened in that time? McGregor, he fought Mayweather, didn't he? And he got about $100 million or pounds, whatever. So, now he's lost that desire. He's made that money, hasn't he? He's secured the bag. So he's not really that hungry anymore, is he? Back in the days, he used to claim benefits, when he was a broke fucker. So, now he's pouncing around, on his little fancy yacht. And he's showing off his little fancy watches, and he's just fucking lost that hunger, hasn't he? McGregor. He's made some serious cash. So he's just lost that hunger, hasn't he? You know what I mean? So that's the fucking difference between the first fight when he fucked up Dustin Poirier and the second fight when he got fucked up. It's the money, innit? But it might be other things McGregor, he got falsely accused of rape, didn't he? By some fucking dirty slag. So it might have took his mind off it, it might have took his mind off of his training and stuff like that. He might have fucked up his head. When he got falsely accused of rape. Like Mike Tyson and fucking Tupac. They experienced that as well, didn't they? So it could really affect you, couldn't it? It could really affect your mentality. So I don't know what happened to McGregor. I think it's more the money though. You know what I mean? He secured the bag. He fucked up that Aldo, didn't he? He smacked him up. So he might have underestimated that Dustin Poirier as well. He might have thought, I'm going to smack him up as well. Like how I did with Aldo. So yeah, I don't know. He might have been complacent, He's fucking lost it, Annie McGregor. You remember when he punched the old man in the pub? It didn't have any effect on him, did it? It didn't have any effect on the fucking old man in the pub. So I think McGregor, he's lost those fighting instincts, that he had before he secured the bag, fighting Mayweather. He's kind of lost it, hasn't he? He's had a kid as well, so some fighters when they have kids, they think, oh, fuck fighting. I don't want to get put in a fucking coma. I don't want to become a vegetable, like Gerald McLennan, and not be able to read my kids a bedtime story again. So, you know what? I think McGregor's lost it completely, man. He's just fucking drinking that proper 12 whiskey all the time as well, isn't he? He's on that proper 12 whiskey. I bought some of that the other day. In fact, I didn't buy it. This woman who watches these videos, she gave me a bottle. A woman who really wants to fuck me. She fucking gave me a bottle of proper 12 whiskey. And it's really nice and it's really strong. It's 40%. So, fucking McGregor's drinking that all the time. It's gonna fuck him up, innit? Khabib, when he fucked up McGregor. Khabib is a strict Muslim, innit? You don't drink, you don't smoke, you don't take drugs, you don't fuck around with these women. McGregor, he was supposed to have cheated on his wife. So he's just all over the place, isn't he? He's got the bag, so he don't have to stick to one woman. He can fuck loads of women, and fucking really step up sexually. So, to go from claiming benefits to securing the bag, it's a big jump, innit? Securing the bag against Mayweather, it's a big jump, it's a big step up. He fucking started fucking around with that dirty slag there. You know what I mean? Now he's got the bag. And it took his mind off training, didn't it? But you know, Khabib's like a multi-millionaire. But you know, Joe Rogan, he said that Khabib still drives around in a little Toyota, you know, a little shit car, and he's not really flashy with the jewelry, you know, like Mayweather. He's just like humble, you know, he's a quiet little Muslim, innit? You know, driving around in his little shit Toyota, you know, fucking reading the Quran, you know, being a strict Muslim. He's not interested in material goods, is he? Or fucking these fucking gold digging slags that McGregor started fucking with, you know, after he secured the bag. You know, Khabib, he's not into all that shit, is he? That's why he's like 29-0, you know what I mean? Khabib fucked up McGregor, yeah? He made him tap out. Conor McGregor beat that Dustin Poirier in the first fight. Then Poirier fucked up McGregor. And Khabib beat up both of those two. So he's just on a different level, and you just can't fuck with fucking Khabib, man. You can't fuck around with Khabib. He's just like on a different level, innit? You know, Conor McGregor in his fight with Dustin Poirier, you know, the rematch. You know, McGregor, he was saying like before the fight, he's took on his old boxing trainer, you know, to help him with the boxing game. But you know, this trainer of McGregor's, I've been involved in boxing for years and years, and I've never heard of this guy. I don't know who he's trained. I don't know who he's fucking produced. I don't know what champions he's trained. So this guy here, who McGregor's took on to help him prepare for the Dustin Poirier rematch, this trainer here is a little nobody, innit? I've never fucking heard of him, man. He's a little nobody. So, you know, McGregor, he got in there with Dustin Poirier, you know, with his little fucking boxing trainer, trying to give him advice. And McGregor, he was trying to throw punches, you know, from little fancy angles. But he just got caught, man. Because it's not boxing, is it? You don't need a boxing trainer. You need a fucking all-round trainer. You know, this little fucking shit boxing trainer that McGregor brought into his corner to help him prepare. It's not a boxing match, is it? It's MMA, innit? It's UFC, so it's a different game. You know, it's alright throwing a few little fancy punches, you know, from those little fancy angles, but, you know, when Dustin Poirier kept kicking his legs, you know, when he kept fucking up McGregor's legs, it's not boxing, is it? He kept fucking up his legs, didn't he? You know what I mean? With those little fancy kicks to the legs. And it really messed him up, didn't it? So, this little fucking boxing trainer here is not going to help prepare for those kind of leg kicks. And he got his legs smashed up, didn't he, McGregor? And he had to like walk around, you know, on some crutches. And how's a boxing trainer going to teach him to prepare for those kicks there? He's not, is he? You remember Anderson Silva when he smashed up his leg? You know, after Chris Weidman checked that kick. You know, and he smashed up his own leg, Anderson Silva. You know, what does a boxing trainer know about like checking kicks like that? He ain't got a clue, has he? So, you know, when that Dustin Poirier kept kicking McGregor, that boxing trainer, he didn't have a clue what to do, did he? He didn't have a clue, man. Jon Jones, you know that photo there? That's when he got arrested, you know, for drink driving. Look how skinny his legs are. And you'd think that, you know, if someone kicked him in his little skinny legs, you'd think he'll be all over. But, you know, those little skinny legs, he's still able to, like, take it, innit? Jon Jones, he's a weird guy, innit? I was watching him on Joe Rogan the other day, and he said to Joe Rogan that, you know, like a week before his fights, he just goes out and gets fucking drunk, you know, and he smokes weed and he snorts coke, you know, so that if he loses a fight, he can just put it down to the fucking alcohol, you know, and the coke and all that. It's like a defense mechanism, innit? But he still goes in there, even though he's gone out there drinking and snorting coke and smoking weed, he still goes out there and fucks up his opponents, don't he? Jon Jones. Jon Bones Jones. He's got like a weird mentality. You know Nassim Hamed, you know when he crashed into that guy at 100 miles an hour and then he got out of the car and started running off. You know, I was talking to Nassim Hamed's trainer and he said that, you know, Nas having that kind of like crash bang wallop mentality. You know, that kind of reckless mentality of crashing into somebody and then running off, leaving him disabled. It causes you to be a good fighter. You know, like Khabib. You know, Khabib wrestling with those beers. It's quite interesting, isn't it? It's a bit unorthodox. It's a bit different, isn't it? You know, that kind of like weird mentality, it kind of causes you to win fights. Having that fucking weird mentality causes you to become a beast in the octagon. But you know, McGregor shaking hands like that, he's secured the bag and he's just comfortable. He's got his little kid. You know, he's got a little son. So he's not really bothered anymore, is he? He's secured the bag and he. So he's not that hungry anymore, is he? Do you think McGregor getting fucked up by Dustin Poirier has affected his chances of fighting Manny Pacquiao? Do you think that fight has lost interest now? Do you think that fight has like lost a lot of interest? I don't think it has. You know, McGregor, he's already been beat before, hasn't he? But I think now, after getting fucked up like that, I think people will tune in even more, you know, just to see, you know, because they know that he could get absolutely fucked up by Pacquiao, and he probably would, wouldn't he? He would get fucked up by Pacquiao, you know, in a boxing match. But yeah, I don't think that fight's lost its appeal, you know. I don't think it's lost its appeal. It's like Mike Tyson, you know, getting fucked up by Danny Williams, who was a little nobody. But then, you know, when Mike Tyson fought Roy Jones a few weeks ago, you know, it was still like highly anticipated, wasn't it? It was still like really intriguing, even though the fight was fucking absolute garbage. Roy Jones against Mike Tyson, it was fucking trash, wasn't it? You know, Mike Tyson just fucking holding back. You know, he could have fucked up Roy Jones, couldn't he, if he really wanted to. He could have like uppercutted his nose, you know, to push his nose bone up into his brain. That's what he said he wanted to do, didn't he, Mike Tyson, you know, to one of his opponents back in the day. He said he wanted to uppercut his opponents on the nose, you know, to push his nose bone up into his brain. And like, that's what he could have done to Roy Jones, but he was like holding back. It was more like a little body spar, you know, like a little exhibition, which it was, wasn't it? But it was fucking absolute fucking garbage, wasn't it? That's why I didn't pay for it, because I knew it would be like that. I knew it would be all messing around and all that fucking exhibition bullshit. I don't like exhibitions, you know, where the fighters are fucking around and just pissing about. So once I heard that Mike Tyson's fight with Roy Jones was an exhibition, I just lost interest. Yeah, Roy Jones likes cockfighting, don't he? He likes putting cocks, you know, in a cage and putting knives on them, you know, watching them stab each other to death. So I wanted Mike Tyson to uppercut Roy Jones's nose bone up into his brain, you know, and really fuck him up, but it didn't happen, did it? They were holding back, weren't they? You know, Mayweather's fight with Logan Paul, is that an exhibition as well, or is that a proper fight? It's not going to go on his boxing record, is it? But I think that'll be a bit more interesting. You know, I'm looking forward to that. I'd probably pay for that. You know, Mayweather's fight with Logan Paul, that'll be more interesting, won't it? Yeah, you know Mayweather, yeah. You know his daughter, she's just had a kid with a rapper who's got 7 kids to 7 different women. He's got 7 baby mamas, do you know what I mean? And Mayweather's daughter has just had a kid with him. It's a bit weird, that is, isn't it? You know what I mean? You know Mayweather, he's quite on the ball, isn't it? He's quite smart, Mayweather. In the ring and out of the ring. You know, he's unbeaten, 50-0, TBE. You know, he's got to be close to being a billionaire, hasn't he, now, Mayweather? He can't be too far away from that $1 billion mark, can he, Mayweather? So he's quite clued up, isn't he? He's quite smart, Mayweather. So, you know, his daughter having a kid with someone who's got 7 baby mamas. You know, it don't really seem right, does it? It don't seem... Seems a bit dodgy, don't it? It seems a bit weird. Like you'd expect Mayweather's smartness, you know, to like rub off on her, but it don't seem to have. You know, she's going out stabbing people as well. You know, she got arrested, you know, for trying to stab somebody. So she's a bit fucked up, isn't she, Mayweather's daughter? You know, you'd think she would be a bit smart, you know, a bit clever, like Mayweather. You know, 50 Cent, 50. He was trying to diss Mayweather, wasn't he? You know, saying he's dumb, he can't read. He was trying to have a go at him, wasn't he, 50. But Mayweather's smart, man. Whether he can read or not. You know, he's on the ball, innit, Mayweather. So you'd think his daughter would be as well. You'd think his, like, smartness would kind of rub off on her, wouldn't you? You would have thought Mayweather would have given her some good advice, you know, and like kept her on the right path, you know, and really steered her. And like kept her in line and just give her some good advice. You know, it's like Barry Hearn, Bazza. You know, he's a top guy, isn't he? You know, he's got his little pedo connections, Jeffrey Epstein. But other than that, he's a top guy, isn't he, Bazza? You know, he was a top promoter. He's fucking made a shitload of money. You know, he's coming from a council estate and he's like built himself up, you know, to being a top promoter and making a shitload of money. So, you know, Barry Hearn, Bazza, being on the ball like that, you know, that's kind of rubbed off on Eddie Hearn, hasn't it? Now Eddie Hearn's a top promoter and he's fucking making a shitload of money. So, you know, Bazza, you know, being on the ball, he's kind of rubbed off on Eddie Hearn, hasn't it? Now he's on the ball. But, you know, Mayweather's daughter, she's kind of fucked up, isn't she? Mayweather being on the ball hasn't really, like, rubbed off on her much, has it? You know, having a kid with someone who's got 7 baby mamas and going around trying to stab people and getting arrested. But Mayweather, he beat the fuck out his baby mama, didn't he? You know, and she died, didn't she? And people are saying it was Mayweather who killed her. You know, and then he got locked up, didn't he? And then he came out of prison, you know, with a dodgy looking afro. So Mayweather, he's a bit dodgy as well sometimes, isn't he? So, you know, his daughter, she could have got that kind of like reckless side, you know, from her dad, Mayweather. But yeah, I thought Mayweather would have kept her in line a bit better than that, to be honest. I'm a fan of Mayweather, but I thought he would have kept her in line a bit better than that. Because, like, he had discipline himself, didn't he? Like, he never drank, did he? He didn't drink, he didn't fucking smoke. You know, he was never a fat cunt. Even though he's retired, you know, he's coming back for the odd fight here and there. But he's never, like, blown up in weight, has he? So he's got that discipline. So I thought he would have passed that on to his daughter. Like, you know, his dad, Floyd Mayweather Sr., he said he used to, like, beat him, you know, when he was young. You know, tell him to go to the gym and train. You know, if he's seen Floyd Mayweather Jr. messing about in the streets, Floyd Jr. said that his dad would fucking beat him up. You know, and tell him to get to the gym and train. So his dad kind of kept him in line, you know, and kind of like resulted in him, you know, becoming TBE. You know, because his dad was on him like that. Same with Michael Jackson. His dad used to beat the fuck out of him as well, you know, and tell him to go and dance and sing. And stop pissing around with girls and fucking around. You know, and then Michael Jackson became brilliant, didn't he, at what he was doing. Same with Mike Tyson as well, you know, in the early days when he had Cus Tomato. You know, he really kept him in line, didn't he? But, you know, when he died, you know, Mike Tyson started to fuck up, didn't he? And he went downhill. So these guys, you know, when they got like father figures, role models, you know, they do well, don't they? Same with Mayweather, you know, if his dad beating him and telling him to go to the gym to train. You know, it gave him that discipline, didn't it? So you'd think that Mayweather would have like kept his daughter in line, you know, and given her some words of advice, you know, telling her to stay away from rappers, you know, who have got 7 baby mamas. You'd have thought he would have like passed that on to her, you know, and kept her in line, man. But we don't know who her mum is, do we? We don't know what kind of effect she's had on him. We don't know her, do we? So yeah, it might not be Mayweather's fault. But yeah, that'll do, you know. I need to wrap this up. I need to watch that documentary, you know, about MTK Global. Crime Lord brokers Fury v AJ super fight. Yeah, that's quite interesting, isn't it? I need to watch that, you know. People have been telling me about it. So yeah, I need to check that out, you know. Probably do a YouTube live review of it. You know, I heard Barry McGuigan's been slagging him off, you know, Daniel Kinahan, but he would want it, Barry McGuigan, you know, he's fucking robbing his fighters. You know, he's pretty much a nobody now in boxing, isn't he? Barry McGuigan, he's a fucking nobody. He's irrelevant, isn't he? So, you know, slagging off Daniel Kinahan and MTK Global, it's expected, isn't it? It's expected from Barry McGuigan, isn't it? You know, robbing his fighters. He killed someone in the ring as well, didn't he? You know, and he's probably happy about that as well, isn't he? You know, he seems like that kind of guy, you know, who would be happy about killing somebody in the boxing ring. He seems like that kind of guy, don't he? You know, robbing his fighters and slagging off MTK Global. You know, he's irrelevant, isn't he? So he's just trying to like claw back a bit of relevance. So he's slagging off MTK Global. He's a fucking murderer. He's a fucking murderer, isn't he, Barry McGuigan? But yeah, I need to watch it, you know, and see what he's got to say. And do a little video about it. But yeah, thanks for watching again, yeah. Thanks for that.